Hello my kin, my name is Kinping, but you can call me Kin, and I'm back with the same Mortal Kombat tier list that I was making beforehand. This is the second part, so before you get any further in this video, if you have not seen the first part, you want to go and watch that now, because you'll hear the reasoning for all of this. But I mean, you can always just watch this one. It is completely up to you. Okay, so last time we finished with Foxy and we put him in E because reasons. So we're on to part 2 now, and we have a whole lot more characters to rank. So we should probably just get right into it. I think there'll be more in S this video, there'll be more in F, certainly there's always going to be more in F. But we might as well start right now, and I think the first person we have is Freddy Krueger. So Freddy was in MK9, and I'm pretty sure that he's in the mobile game as well. I think that having him back would be kind of cool. He has a fair amount of potential, and Mortal Kombat 9 is an old game, so many fans nowadays probably haven't actually played him before. I think it would be cool, and having the option to give him different types of costumes and gear would be nice as well. I think overall I'm going to give him a B, because out of all the characters I would really like to see him back. Freddy, I know that he is the main man of the FNAF franchise, but basic Freddy just doesn't bring anything to the table for a fighty game. So I would put him in F with Bonnie and Chica, but I think that it would be cool if Bonnie, Chica and Foxy could be called in like the Ninja Turtles when you're playing Leo. So for that reason alone, I am going to give him an E, because I feel like that mechanic would kind of make up for the shittiness of him as a fighting game character. Yeah, I'm going to give him an E. General Grievous. I love General Grevious. I love him so much, and I think that he is such a cool character, and honestly, I'm annoyed that he hasn't been in a fighting game already. I think that he would have some awesome moves if he was put into a fighting game. I'm just not sure if Mortal Kombat is the game for him. I mean, it really would be awesome. It really would. Like, the moves would look great, and he would be able to just absolutely cut people to shreds with all his lightsabers. And oh my god, he could fight the Collector. That would be awesome. I am going to give General Grievous a B. Geralt. Geralt could easily be a Mortal Kombat character. Easily. He would have some awesome moves, and with the help of his abilities like Ard and stuff, he would just be really interesting to play. And of course he would have awesome gears, and some of his cinematics I know would be good. I think that it's kind of a no-brainer really. He has been in, I think he was in Soul Calibur. Yeah, he was in one of the Soul Calibur games, I'm pretty sure. But I think putting him in MK would give him a better opportunity to actually achieve his full fighty game character potential. I give him an A. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's pretty cool, but I feel like he doesn't really have much personality. That may just be because I haven't actually bothered to like learn much about him. And you know that doesn't really matter in a Mortal Kombat game anyway. Well, not as much as other games. I do think he would be really cool. He'd have a great mix of like, I feel like he'd be a mix of Terminator, Spawn and Scorpion, and that's just really damn cool. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a mix of those three characters. Then again, his moveset probably wouldn't be anything special. I think it'd be okay. I'm going to give him a B. Scream's just a dude in a mask that stabs people. No, Ghostface. His name is Ghost. He's just a guy that stabs people. I can't really put him that high. I mean, NetherRealm probably would make him really cool. Like, I mean, they did RoboCop. Like I said last video, they did RoboCop. Ghostface probably would be really cool. I'm sure of it. But he's just got a knife. And there are characters like Kano and Rambo that use knives and other things. So I kind of got to give him an F. I can't really give him an E. He just stabs people, you know. He's good in horror games. I think he's in Dead by Daylight, which seems pretty cool. But for Mortal Kombat, F. And there we have started our second row. Our first second row. Woo! Yeah, big achievement. Yeah. Anyway, next one. Golden Freddy. Basically the same reasons I made for Freddy. It would be boring and he wouldn't really do much. There isn't really much source material anyway, so Golden Freddy as his own ability wouldn't do much. You could have Freddy as Golden Freddy as a variation of Freddy, but nah, F. just boring. Right. So the bottom line is that no one from Harry Potter is ever going to be put into a Mortal Kombat game. They just don't fit. I mean, Harry Potter is cool. I do like him, mainly because I like Daniel Radcliffe, but I mean, Harry Potter's an okay character. He's one of the better characters of the films and books. Well, books I assume, because I haven't read any of them. Even though I like him, no, I don't think that he would be ever put into a fighting game, but I want to put him higher than stupid face Draco dude, so I give him an E. He-Man! I love He-Man, bro. I think he's so cool. He is a really strong character, man. You guys don't appreciate the strongness that is He-Man. He is strong, bro. He is really strong. Though saying that, I can't actually imagine him in a Mortal Kombat game. I can totally imagine him in a game like Street Fighter though, that's more cartoony, and I would buy that game in an instant. But Mortal Kombat, nah, not really. He's too cartoony for that. Since I would like him in a Mortal Kombat game, going with the same logic as I went with Buzz Lightyear and Asterix, but I'm going to put him in D, because I want He-Man way more than I want Asterix and Buzz Lightyear. Heisenberg. Okay, another warning here, guys. Anything that is Resident Evil is probably going to get really high up on the list. I love Resident Evil, and Resident Evil Village was just mind-blowingly awesome. I still remember the shock when the final Heisenberg battle started. It blew me away, bro. I really like Heisenberg, and I think he's a good character, but most importantly, I really think that he would be awesome in Mortal Kombat. I mean, he ticks all the boxes, right? He looks badass, he has a huge hammer, and he can control metal. That makes him unique, and all characters that go on Mortal Kombat need to be unique. He would have awesome moves, awesome intros, and awesome gear, so I'm giving him an A. Oh, no, not a B, A. Jeez. I sabotaged my tier list. Another Harry Potter character, Hermione Granger. I'm sorry, but no. It would just never work, and I don't really care about putting her higher than Draco, so F. Homelander, basically just tossbag evil Superman. I only read the first volume or maybe 2 of the comics, and I haven't watched the TV show, so I don't know all that much about him, but I do think that he would be pretty cool in a fighting game. Just think about it, right? Superman is really cool and strong, and a pretty solid character in Injustice, but putting him in Mortal Kombat would just be stupid, because he would never actually do any of those nasty fatalities and brutalities, you know? So, we put in Homelander instead. Now, because Homelander is evil, and he's the next best thing from Superman that can actually do all that brutal stuff. I'm not really fussed about actually having him in the game, though. I just think that he'd be a good substitute for Superman. I give him a C. Indiana Jones. I feel like having Indiana Jones in a fighting game would be pretty plausible, you know? He is a fighter, he has punch-outs, can shoot a gun, and has some awesome abilities with his whip. So I think he'd be pretty cool. He would also have some great costumes, and there is lots of potential for his cinematics and, like, maybe even taunt animations, you know? Have some counters and everything. I think he would be alright, but I'm not really going to put him that high. I will give him a B though. I think a B is where he should be. B. That's not going to make it in. Invincible, not a huge fan. I really like how he's voiced by the actor who plays Glenn in Walking Dead, but other than that, I just do not care about the character. And since he's not as brutal as characters like Homelander and Omni-Man, I think his name is, I'm not actually going to put him that high. I'm gonna give him really low. He'd just be boring. I'd rather have Homelander, you know, and I think they got basically the same powers, so F. Iron Man. I'm a DC guy, as most people should know. I like the X-Men, She-Hulk, and Wonder and Vision, but that's it. Iron Man really isn't one of my favorite characters. He's okay, but that's kind of where it stops for me. I will try not to be biased though. Iron Man would have some unique moves, but I don't think it'd be anything we haven't seen before. He would have lots of projectiles, which could potentially make him really annoying, but he has the potential not to be as well. Some of his intros would be okay, but seeing that he's not really the biggest hand-to-hand fighter, I'm going to put him kind of low. Marvel has better options, is basically the bottom line. They have better characters that they can put into a fighting game, so I'm going to give him a D. Jack Sparrow. Completely forgot I had him in this list. I'm looking at my script now and I only just realized. So recently, at the time of writing this script, I've rewatched all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and I love them so much. Captain Jack Sparrow is a good character, but is he Mortal Kombat worthy? I think maybe. I can imagine him fighting against other Mortal Kombat characters, but I just can't see him doing fatalities and all the gory stuff, you know? It's not really him. He's too goofy for that kind of stuff. I think it would be better for him to be in a game like Street Fighter or Tekken. He would be cool in Mortal Kombat. He'd be okay in Mortal Kombat, but I don't think it would fit, so I'm gonna give him a D. Jason Voorhees, he was in NKX, one of the characters that has already been a guest character. I really don't see the need for him to come back. He should stop coming back. If he hadn't been in a Mortal Kombat game before, I would probably put him in like E or F just because I'm not fussed having him in. And since he has been in a Mortal Kombat game, I'm going to put him low. He did look a bit boring in Mortal Kombat X as well, so yeah, F. John Wick. Okay, John Wick's badass. Like lots of the characters on this list. Imagine the kind of throws and attack animations he would have. It would be pretty cool. But once again, like I've said with other characters, he's just a dude that shoots shit. And don't get me wrong, he is a good character and he's got martial arts skills as well and everything. And, you know, he could beat the shit out of us like any day of the month, any time. I know lots of you guys are going to call blasphemy on this, but I'm going to give him a C. I'm not going to put him any higher because I just feel like he doesn't have much that makes him as unique as characters above him. Joker. No! Never again, man. Never. No. He was so fucking annoying in Mortal Kombat 11, bro. I refuse to have him back. That stupid fucking punching bag move. No. God, no. F. Judge Dredd. He's yet another badass character, and he is an absolute tank. I know that I've said before with other characters that they just shoot shit and would be really boring, but I make an exception for Judge Dredd. He would be more interesting than other gun-orientated characters, and we all know that he would have some awesome costumes. I think because I'm not too sure how good his moveset would actually be, I can't put him higher than a B. Yes, I love Cassandra. She is the best Assassin's Creed character, and don't you dare say otherwise. I think she would be awesome. We haven't really seen an ancient historical character like her in a Mortal Kombat game before, so I think it would be a great opportunity here. She would have some cool moves, just like the ones she has in Odyssey and everything, and would use the awesome gear pieces from Odyssey as well for some of her suits and costumes and everything, whatever you want to call them. I just think it would be perfect. I personally think that would be great to see a historical character. Riding on that, that's probably why I'm going to give her an S. Kick-Ass. I feel like Kick-Ass would suit a Mortal Kombat game. I genuinely feel like he would. And what's her name? Hit Girl? Is that her name? I think Hit Girl would suit a Mortal Kombat game as well. But I just feel like that'd be a little bit lame. And he's a kid after all, so it would probably be frowned upon by lots of people. Like I said with Chucky and where's Damien? I said the same with Damien as well. So if he was more interesting, I would put him a bit higher, but since I think he wouldn't be that interesting and he's a smaller character, so it's probably less likely, I'm going to give him an F. Kratos. Kratos is another real tanky character, but I don't actually know much about him. I haven't played any of the God of War games. I'm a PC guy. God of War has only just come on PC. I haven't played any of them yet. He was in Mortal Kombat 9. He has been a guest character before, and he looked alright, but like I said with Freddy Krueger at the start of this video, many Mortal Kombat fans have probably never played as him, so it would be kind of nice to see him come back for another Mortal Kombat game that has better graphics. He's an awesome character, and he has lots of different weapons, so he would be interesting. I'm not really hanging out for him though, and he has been in a Mortal Kombat game before, so I'm going to give him a C, right in the middle. The man that carried the entire last trilogy, Kylo Ren. He was a good character. I did like his character. I think that he would be alright in a fighting game. The guy has all the rage and brutal energy that is needed to do fatalities and brutalities, so there's absolutely no problem on that side. It would be cool. He would be cool. So yeah, I think he has good potential to be a great character. Some of his intro dialogues, I know they would be really good. You know, he'd just talk shit to anyone on the roster and that'd be really awesome. I think Darth Vader's an S. Darth Vader's an S, so I'm not gonna give him S. Could give him A. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give him A. I think I'm gonna give him A. There we go. I resized it. Everything fits perfectly now. You guys just can't see the that aren't on the tier list yet, so it's okay. Okay, anyway. On to the next one, Lady Death. And I'm not talking about Death from Marvel Comics, who apparently had a relationship with Thanos or something. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Lady Death, who first appeared in the Chaos comics and is now a part of, I think she's part of Coffin Comics. Now, apart from the obvious reason that lots of teenage boys would want her in Mortal Kombat, I do actually think she'd be pretty cool. Most of the characters on this list are male, well, a good chunk of them are male, and I think that Lady Death would be a good female character that actually has the strength to fight everyone else on this list. That being said, I'm not actually hanging out for her to come into a fighty game. Like, she has good abilities and stuff, but nothing that's all too different, so I'm gonna give her a D. Next up is Lady D. Who doesn't love this character, bro? She is awesome, and just like Heisenberg, she's real badass as well. She is my favorite Resident Evil character alongside Nemesis, so I'm gonna put her high up. I mean, she's my favorite Resident Evil character, and I said last video, I think I said that I'm always gonna put Resident Evil characters really high up, so she's gonna be really high up. But I do genuinely think that she would be cool. Her large slashy hands and her mutated form could make for some pretty cool abilities. I imagine she would have a fair amount of grabs, and that would be cool as well. And she could also summon in her daughters to help her with attacks. She does have lots of different stuff which could make her cool, and I can imagine that NetherRealm would give her some cool outfits and gear pieces as well. I think we really do need her in Mortal Kombat 12. She's a huge pop culture character. Almost everyone knows her. If you don't know her, then that's just pathetic, bro. Why don't you know her? Jeez. Shit. I've lost my place, my script. Where was I up to? Having her appear in something like Street Fighter would kind of be a waste of her potential. She is a gory character. She's from Resident Evil, for crying out loud. So, S. I'm sorry guys, but it has to be an S. Leatherface, just a crazy dude with a chainsaw. I have no idea why he was in MKX. He just seems boring and was a bit. So, yeah, I don't want to see him again. F. Out of all the characters that DC has, I think that Lobo would actually make for a really good fighting character. He would be pretty damn cool with his hook and chain, and he'd be a nice mix of Kano and Scorpion, moveset and personality-wise. And we all know how cool some of his outfits would be. I can't really think of one reason why Lobo shouldn't be in an MK game. He is gory, and I would love so much to see him go up against Shao Kahn. I think that would just be awesome. Since he wasn't in Injustice 2, I am going to give him an A. Luke Skywalker. I really would like to see Luke in a fighting game, but obviously MK is not the game for him. He don't do brutalities and stuff like that. MK should basically just be left for the Sith. All the Sith should be in MK, and the Jedi can make their own fighting game. Luke, he just wouldn't fit at all, so I got to give him an F. Mad Max. I've only ever watched one Mad Max movie, and it was the Tom Hardy one, and I really liked it. I think that Mad Max would be great in Mortal Kombat because he's a real brawler. You know, he can really get into those fist fights, and lots of his weapons and guns are close range. He would also have some pretty gnarly costumes and some pretty good outros. I imagine his moveset and combos would be a lot like that of like a pub fighter or something. I feel like it'd be real messy sort of fighting, which I think would be awesome. You know, we've got lots of professionals in Mortal Kombat. Well, maybe not Kano, but having a real messy fight with like a shotgun and shit would just be, it'd be nice, man. It'd be really cool. I'm gonna give him an A. Maleficent. I've seen both Maleficent movies, and I really like Angelina Jolie. I think she did a really good job as Maleficent. Maleficent is really powerful, like really, really powerful. I actually Googled it, and I mean, it literally says, I can't remember it from the movies for some reason, but it literally says that she has all the powers of hell. And so I think that has to mean something. I imagine that NetherRealm would make full use of her powers, and if she was going to appear in Mortal Kombat, well, she would have awesome moves and awesome outfits and everything. And of course, it would be awesome to have Angelina Jolie actually voicing Maleficent. I think that's a must. Whenever you have a character in Mortal Kombat, you have to have the OG voice actor, or at least someone that sounds like almost exactly like them. Anyway, I'm going to give Maleficent an A. Mantis is a mantis. He'd never be his own fighter because he's not humanoid. He's not like Tigress, who can actually be a fighter. If Mantis was ever to appear in a Mortal Kombat game, he'd be like a callable assist character or something. So, as his own fighter, I gotta put an F. Master Chief. I've never played a single Halo game before because they just look really average. I don't get the hype over the Halo games or over Master Chief. I mean, he does look kind of cool. I know he has some cool weapons, but he just shoots guns, and he's just got a cool laser blade thing. I'm probably gonna be a little bit biased here, but I'm just gonna put him in E. Shit, I have to resize again. I've resized. I hope this looks good now. Still, you can't see the ones that are in the tier list yet, but you can see everything else. So we're all good, we're all good. Anyway, we just did Master Chief. Next up, Master Oogway. And I mean, Master Oogway's cool. Master Oogway is really nice. I love Master Oogway. He's probably one of my favorite characters from Kung Fu Panda. But Mortal Kombat? No way in hell. Get him in Street Fighter, or I don't even know, whatever the most cartoony fighting game is, get him in that. But for now, for Mortal Kombat, F. Shifu is next up. And Shifu is actually humanoid, so he's already beaten about 50% of the characters from Kung Fu Panda. So he could be in Mortal Kombat, but he's just not that gory. I'm going to say it now that everyone in Kung Fu Panda is not going to get that high. Maybe Tigress or Tai Lung, since they're the toughest and could be really brutal. But yeah, he would be cool in another fighty game. I feel like he'd fit almost any other fighty game. I'm going to give him an E. Megamind, yes, we do really need Megamind in a fighting game. I think he would be so cool. He would have some of the best intros and outros ever, and his suit would be great. Just from the movie. I'm sure NetherRealm would do a great job. I imagine that his moveset would be very eccentric, and once again, I have complete faith in NetherRealm to do him justice. But like so many other characters that I've mentioned, I don't really think that MK is the game for him. If it was more goofy, then sure, but as it is right now, I'm not too sold on him being an MK. I will give him a D though. MK has had many popcorn slasher characters in their games, and Michael Myers isn't really that different. I haven't watched any of the movies, but I know that he doesn't run and that he just stabs people, you know? Makes him just another guy that just stabs people. I think that he would be another character that would be really boring to play. Like, I imagine he'd be like really boring to play, but I do like the idea of him just appearing before a battle, because apparently in the movies he just appears. But I'm going to give him an F. And once again, I got to resize the screen. I'll be back, guys. Okay, look, I'm back again. Resize the screen again. You can still see the whole tier list. The tier list is going to get pretty big, guys. Anyway, who's next? Yes. I'm a huge fan of Walking Dead, as anyone who knows me personally would tell you. And Michonne is one of my most liked characters. She's not my favorite character, that lies with characters like Dale and Andrea, but I do really, really like her. I think that she could be really good in a Mortal Kombat game. While I know that she just has a sword and that is kind of it, I think that she would have a very cool moveset. She would of course have good attacks with her katana, but she would also have the ability to summon zombies as a reference to when she first appeared in the comics and TV show. I think she'd have some great zombie abilities. I think she'd be able to use the zombies and make use of zombie abilities better than Beta for some reason. And obviously Michonne with her katana, she'd make for some really cool moves, and NetherRealm could make her a bit more martial arty than she is in the comics and show. So maybe I'm being a tiny bit biased here, but I'm giving her an S. Monkey. Not Mortal Kombat material, F. Moon Knight. I know that Marvel and DC occasionally copy off each other, but Marvel, come on, man. This guy looks like such a copy of Batman. And I know that he's not a copy of Batman, but his whole aesthetic, you know, it kind of looks like Batman. So for that reason, I'm not going to put him that high. I don't actually know much about his powers and everything, but I do know that he is a good hand-to-hand fighter. I just think that that'd be kind of boring. He does, from what I've seen, he doesn't actually appear to have much else going for him. So maybe this is just me because I don't know much about Moon Knight, but I'm going to give him an F. Morven Val. You know I had to put a battle sister in this list. If you don't know who Morven Val is, bro, what rock are you living under? Morven Val is a Abyss Sanctorium of the Adeptus Sororitas in Warhammer 40k. I'm not going to go through her whole backstory. That's like, I could make a video about that. But Morven Val is badass. She's probably one of the most badass characters on this whole list. I've played 4 tabletop battles with her, and she survived every goddamn one and single-handedly taken out almost half the army, or more each time. She's awesome. I think her moveset would be very good too. With her big gun and missiles, she would have good range and great melee with her spear. Of course, she would have to play like a large character, but I think that would be fine. I would really like to have more large characters in Mortal Kombat, because I like the one fighty game that actually does big characters well. So it would be good, and I think the idea of her having the ability that when she loses, that her Paragon Warsuit breaks down and then you can just play her as a normal person with just like a bolt pistol or something, I think that'd be pretty cool. So once again, as is with all the S characters, I'm going to be a little biased and put her in S. Mystique. She's an okay X-Men character. I personally am completely neutral when it comes to her. She's just meh, not awesome and not that bad. I think that the reaction people would have to her being in an MK game is kind of meh. We have Shang Tsung for stealing people's identities and using their moves, so I don't see why NetherRealm would ever get a guest character that does just that. Of course, if Shang Tsung didn't exist, I'd be happy to have her in a Mortal Kombat game, but otherwise, meh. I'll give her an E. Negan, I actually forgot I had Negan in this list. I do really like The Walking Dead, and I really like Negan, especially in the comics. He's a lot better in the comics, but he's kind of already done in Tekken. He was in Tekken, and though it would be cool to see some of his moves be more gruesome in Mortal Kombat, or to see a fatality along the lines of Glenn's death, I can't really put him that high up. NetherRealm would just kind of reuse his moveset from Tekken, because the bottom line is he doesn't have much of a moveset. He's just a dude with a bat that hits people, so I'm gonna give him an E. Next up, Nemesis, and once again he is a Resident Evil character, so prepare for some slight bias here. I've never actually played the original game, but I have played the remake. I've played the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I loved it. It's so good, man. I love Resident Evil in general, like I've said many times before. I do think that Nemesis would be okay in a fighting game. He would have some pretty cool attacks and maybe even ability like the Terminator's endoskeleton with his mutated form. Otherwise, he just have, I think he's got a rocket launcher and a chain gun and stuff in the game, so he could use those as well. It would be cool. It would probably get a little bit boring though, so I'm gonna give him, I think I'll give him a B. The blue woman from Avatar. I can't pronounce her name. I'm not even going to try. And I don't even know why I put her on the list. I think I just put her here because the blue aliens from Avatar are cool, and I want one of them to be in a fighting game. They would have some cool moves, and they could use the wildlife that they live with to make for some even better moves and stuff. But now I actually think about it, I don't think that they'd actually be that cool. So I'll give them an E. Okay, next up, well last up actually, the last one of this video, ending on a FNAF character again for some reason. We've got Nightmare Bonnie, and out of all the animatronics, out of all the Nightmare animatronics, I think that Bonnie is just kind of the lamest, he's not really that interesting. Like, sure, he looks scary and has some gnarly teeth, but that's kind of it. Compared to the other Nightmare animatronics, he hasn't really got much going for him. He wouldn't be a great fighting game character. People need to stop thinking that characters from FNAF would be awesome in a Mortal Kombat game. I'm gonna give him an F. And that is gonna wrap up the second video of this Mortal Kombat tier list. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one as much as you have the first, or even more than you have the first. It's been fun to do this. I'm going to do the third one. I think I'm going to record the third one right now, maybe, or I'm realistically I'm probably going to wait a bit. But leave your I forgot to mention last time, but leave your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think and what characters you think should have been on this list and everything. Obviously, I couldn't have put anyone in. Like, I'm watching Arcane at the moment. I could have easily put like lots of characters from Arcane in this, and dude, tell you what, I would have got like S tier. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please like or maybe consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next and last tier list. Goodbye, my kin.